Hi, guys, and we're back with another podcast this week. How are we going through it? In our work environments.
Yes.
So,
Um, well, I'm not currently going through it in my work environment, but I'm going to speak from past experiences.
same, because I do go back and forth between a regular office job and, my theatrics and film life. Uh, but I am going to speak more on the 9 to 5 because in theater and film, it's a lot more lenient. But don't worry, we will talk about that Me Too stuff.
So I have given up on my lifelong dream of working in corporate America to pursue other things. I'm finally okay with not having a 9 to 5 job. There's lots of way to make money, and there's no better way than being your own boss and having your own income where you don't have. It's harder, but that's what I'm going for. So
You're
anyway,
in full control.
yeah. So let's go with that from there. So how have you gone through it?
Okay, so first off, you're kind of like hired on okay, the jobs I've had, they were kind of superficial, how I was hired and all. There was one job, I mean, of course I got hired for my skills, but other things was like I got it because compared me to this other person, you was liking something about this,
Yeah.
and I was
The love.
not digging it. So with my most recent 9 to 5 job, I was supposedly hired for my graphic design skills. But really, it was just to be a pretty face in the front desk, and I was not digging it because I kept getting flirted with, and I'm just not. First off, I'm in a relationship, so I'm already like, I'm done with flirting. And I'm not even that like good with flirting. I'm awkward. And I actually got laid off. I'm calling it laid off because I don't, honestly, I'm over it. Uh, but I'm still like working there if people need coverage or whatever. Point is, I'm done. I'm good. I got laid off because I started dressing a little differently. I started getting more comfortable. I wasn't in my dresses. I was still professional, don't get me wrong. But then, well, what was the difference? I wasn't cute. Like, that was the difference. So I was thinking that on top of the fact that the industry in which this previous job was in was also it was kind of like theater, where it was a little lenient. However, it was very highbrow, or at least not even highbrow. They just are very stuck up, like, meanwhile, these are people that do live paycheck to paycheck. They make commissions, huge commissions, but they still don't know when their next paycheck is coming unless they make that sale,
Yeah.
So that was hella annoying. I was not digging that. I would work, this office was mostly men, needless to say. They never cleaned the kitchen, and they never flushed, which was the most annoying thing.
That's disgusting because you're not in your house. And this is what I
Seriously.
tell all my male family members. Like, what you do at home is what you're going to do outside. And sorry, that got me revved up. I'm going to use my husband for example. He snaps, right? He chews with his mouth open. And it drives me insane. So when we're home and he's doing it, I'm like, yo, we're going to go to a fine restaurant and you're going to be doing that. No, I'm going to know the difference. Last night, we went out for Valentine's Day, and he was having some ribs, and all I heard was, and I was like, see, I told you. My parents always said, what you do at home is what you're going to go out there and do in public. Mm-hmm. So me, I always disagree with that because I felt like if I put my foot up on the couch or on the table, I know if I go to someone else's house, not to do that. Like, you just have home training. But no, apparently my parents were right. For most people, what you practice at home is what you're going to go out there and do. And I don't understand how you can be conscious enough to realize you're in a work environment, something as communal as a bathroom, not to flush. How do you forget to flush? That is nasty. Nobody should have to be seeing your pee. I've had to see people's poo before. It's just disgusting. What are you doing? People who have had their periods and not flush. Not to mention, you just, whatever sanitary object, they're not wrapping it up. So even in the trash, it's just open for everybody to see. Like, what are you doing?
Smell.
Sorry, it just got me. I
got you. I was mad, yo. And then I'm the one who cleans the bathroom too. So I was just, like I left one day after this dude went. I just left. Like I'm done. I clocked out.
So you didn't say anything?
No, because I was still relatively new. I wasn't there long, you know.
Oh, so you didn't feel comfortable, yeah.
Right. So, and this dude didn't even, halfway through my time being there, he basically only came sporadically, you know. So I don't know. And then on top of that, I know I was not gonna be nice about it, like at all.
Yeah.
So, but I did get petty. I started putting signs over the toilet, next to the toilet, in front of the sink, like, hello, keep the stream in the fucking
should have
toilet.
to tell you to flush. If you pee, like, it happens to everybody. Sometimes you're not sitting on the seat because you don't trust the seat. You tinkle a little bit on the seat. You get your toilet paper and you wipe that shit off. Like, why is that so hard? First of all, it's embarrassing because I'm always thinking, like, if somebody comes in this toilet after me, then they're gonna know. Even if it's, say, for example, it was disgusting or something was on the floor and I go into the stall and I come out, I'm always like, oh my God, people are gonna think it's me. If the bathroom's sick, I'm like worried that people are gonna think it's me. So how are these people, how are they so comfortable? Is my question.
They don't give. They don't give too, which is crazy. So there was that. Now this isn't 9 to 5, but I did used to work at Victoria's Secret, and at the time I was in college or something.
Yeah.
And I'm not the makeup girl. I walk outside with a shirt and jeans. If I look alright, then I look alright. If I don't, then I don't. I'm alright. Like, I'm okay with all of this looking crazy, you know, because what am I here for? I know what I'm here for. If we need to look pretty and I feel like looking pretty, okay, fine. If it's to make money for a special event, I'm throwing up the makeup. I'm throwing on the contacts. I'm doing it, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, so anyway, but this is Victoria's Secret.
Yeah, so they're selling a whole dream, you know, selling a whole image, basically.
Right. However, I'm the one who they spoke to the most in the group interviews, doing all of this, you know, and I'm showing them what they're going to get. It's not like I put makeup in the interview. It's not like I came in looking pretty. I just, you know, I wore form-fitting clothes. My hair was neat. I looked presentable, but I wasn't, you know, the girl in the makeup counter, you know. They had me do stock inventory or whatever the heck, which is fine. I don't want to be interacting with customers anyway, but they did treat me differently. And I'm like, hold up. Wait a minute. We are not going to do this, because just because you work in the makeup section or whatever does not mean you're cuter than me. Like, it's okay. Yeah. Don't talk to me like that. Second off, I'm not going to get you your makeup. So then so with that, I'm trying to say I don't like the little tiny politics of being all judgmental and stuff like that, because it's like you're not making a good work environment. Like, why would you do that? Like, we have the same job with the same pay rate. You just up here and I'm downstairs. You actually have to deal with customer stuff, like their BS.
More BS, yeah.
And I'm here chilling on my phone eating a cookie. I'm chilling. Like,
my heater just kicked in, guys, so I'm sorry if you guys can hear that. But yeah.
We don't, but...
Oh, okay. Well, for me, it's been men in the work environment and me feeling uncomfortable to say, dude, back up off of me. So I had to develop this thing where I just acted dumb. Like, I literally, well, first of all, when somebody is flirting with me, a lot of times I really don't realize somebody likes me. But when I would realize it, I just act dumb. Like, I don't realize anything. I have to play it off. And I don't think that I should have to do that, because you should know, like, I'm here to work. I'm not here to be your sexual object. I am not here to make you smile, to make you laugh, to make your little ding-a-ling go up in any type of way. I'm just here to do my job. So I would say for my very first job, it had someone do I even want to go? No, let's just deal with jobs, because I was going to talk about school and things happening inappropriately in school, but let's just talk about jobs.
Can I ask a question first?
Yeah.
And it's more rhetorical. Why is it that we have to get hollered in the street and still have to deal with harassment like this in the workplace and then just take it? Like there's ways to do this.
And then when you don't respond and you don't give them the response you want, then they berate you. You know, I've gotten, well, you weren't that cute anyway, but you were just trying to talk to me. So what are you saying? Because your little ego is bruised. Nobody told you come screaming at me in the street for everybody to realize you're trying to talk to me, and then I don't pay you any mind, so you feel embarrassed. But you did it to yourself. And it's been a lot of people that give compliments like, oh, you're so beautiful, and I don't say anything. Oh, well, at least you could say thank you. No, I didn't ask you to tell me that I'm beautiful. I don't owe you anything.
That was for you. You wanted to say it, so you said it. That wasn't for nobody else.
It's not me being rude, especially how you say it. Like, you're screaming at me in the street. I'm not like, woo, this topic gets me upset. So anyway, my first job, I had someone in a position of power who would make inappropriate comments about me. And I would just play it off until I got fed up and I had to check him one day. He would just make things like, oh, so why'd you wear that today? What the fuck do you mean? Right? Well, it was a retail job. My first job was a retail job. So you could wear like whatever you wanted kind of thing. But he would just always comment on my outfits. Nobody else's, just my outfits. And then, you know, one day he came up to me and he was like, you know what you look like? He was like, you really have you're cute, but you have broad shoulders. And it's just like, dude, why do you feel it's okay to comment on my body at all? You're in a position of power. Whether I look like a triangle, whether I look like a ball, whether I look like a pear, it does not matter. I'm coming here to do my job. I'm not coming here for you to analyze my body and tell me you're a cute butt. First of all, let's not even talk about how you look, right? So that was the first thing that put me off. And then I started feeling self-conscious about that. Then it was another thing, like, you know, I'm really, really hairy or whatever.
Girl.
No, well, I shaved. Yeah, so it's not that bad right now, but it's really hairy. So he came and he was just like, you know, you really should shave that. It would be better for you. And I'm just like, I don't feel like shaving. It was winter time. I think my fur keeps me warmer in the winter. I'm not shaving it. So he was laughing at me. But again, this is somebody in a position of power. So it's like, how far do you want to go? Then again, I have a few scars or whatever on my hands. So it's just like, oh, you really should get, like, it just constantly commented on me, right? Mm-hmm. And then he would flirt in weird ways. And eventually one day I wore these, like, you know, cat eye glasses. And he was just like, you should really never ever wear that in your life. I was like, listen, well, let me tell you something. When I get dressed in the morning, I get dressed for me. Unless it's breaking some sort of policy in a job, have nothing to say about what I wear. And I caught an attitude. He was like, damn, you really went from, well, back then 0 to 100 wasn't a saying, but whatever he said, he was basically saying you really piped up real quick. And that's because I was fed up. Like, every single day you got to comment on something. That's not okay. You know, then I worked in a law firm. So he had a law firm. So I worked in a law firm. And the dude next to her, at my very first day, was like, yo, you're so cute. You're so beautiful. Can I take you out for coffee? And I was like, no. So what he would do, my boss had no idea at the time, he would come to her office when I was working with her and talk to her, but be like showing hand signals or winking where she couldn't see. And it was just so uncomfortable. And I felt like she had known him for years. So even if I was said to her, like, listen, this person is doing this, I feel uncomfortable, I just felt like I couldn't tell her that because she wouldn't believe me. And also, again, in the work environment, I also always feel like, okay, I'm Black. These people are giving me an opportunity. I have so much to prove just by being Black. You know what? So I'm not trying to be problematic. So there's a lot of things that I put up with that I definitely would not put up with in my personal life. So it's just been like a lot of that. Another job I went to, one day this guy was just staring at me, like just staring at me up and down, head to toe. Every time I got up to walk, head to toe, head to toe, head to toe. So finally I was just like, Yo, I snapped. I was like, why the fuck are you looking at me? And of course, cursing in the work environment, I would not recommend it. But it's just like, I can see you undressing me with your eyes. I felt like, obviously, I was not being raped or anything, but it's like an eye rape, like up and down. I could see him picturing us doing whatever the hell in his freaking head, right? Just by how he was looking at me. Why do I need to be subjected to that? You don't see me trying to look at your penis, trying to do whatever, right? And at work, I tone it all the way down. When I was doing 9 to 5s, tone it all the way down. I still look cute, I'm not gonna lie, but I tone it all the way down. My hair is always in a bun. You know, I'm like trying to button up. It's just
disgusting.
It's disgusting. Yeah. Another time I had put on some weight. So, you know, now I have a little bit more boobs. I have a little bit more butt or whatever. So I was working this job and I had on a skirt that it was not tight, but it kind of like showed my butt a little bit, but it was slack in the waist and right under my butt, right? So if I would have worn something bigger, it just was not going to fit. So I wore it, and then this girl, she pulled me to the side. She was like, you know, you just really, really cute, but you need to be aware that of your body shape. You want to make sure you're not accentuating anything. And it's just like, that's my body. What do you want me to do about that? Even if I wear pants that are slack, you're still going to see whatever. You know, even if I wear a shirt that's covered, that's my body. Like, you can't change that. And I'm just like, what the hell does your body type or whatever have to do with your work and your capabilities? Like, focus. So yeah, it's just been really annoying, and dealing with that had made me very self-conscious all the time. Like, I felt like sometimes I could not focus on work because I could feel somebody like staring me down, and it's just very uncomfortable. I am so happy for the Me Too movement. I'm so happy people are more conscious, more aware, speaking out, so that it can finally get to a point where it's gonna change. You know, even in school, I would say that I was assaulted numerous times with people trying to touch my ass. And that was a thing to do then. Like, even walking in the street, people feel like they could just touch your butt, right? And it's just like, no, you're invading my personal space. I don't know you like that. What gives you the right to do that? And
this is honestly why I don't go clubbing. Like, I had too much of that happen, and I ran after this dude one time and threw my shoe at him. And like, I had to run the other way because it's like, hold up, he's 6 feet. Yeah. Like,
no, definitely, I feel you on that. And the one guy, I told him, like, yo, I got so mad, I swung around. I was like, yo, I'm gonna fight you right now. He was like, but I've seen other people do it. I was like, I don't care who you've seen do what. And the other person he was talking about was one of my ex-boyfriends. So that's my ex. If he want to do whatever he want to do, and I'm letting him, I'm with him, right? So, a lot of boulders just fell out because I was so upset. But yeah. And he was like, well, you're like a doorknob. Everybody gets a turn. So I want my turn. When I told you I was about to really fight this guy, the disrespect and the entitlement that some men have in these environments, it's disgusting. And had the environment, the atmosphere been like it is now in the Me Too movement, a lot of people would have gotten reported. Like, I don't feel comfortable coming to work. I don't feel like if I can focus because this person has been objectifying me. But yeah.
I'm sorry, Kenichi. It's just, this enrages me so much. I don't know how to speak or be sometimes.
Yeah, it's just disgusting. People asking like, so what's your deal? You're married, single, or taken? I never forget, I was in an elevator alone with somebody one time, and it was the most awkward thing. Because I know he was just fixing himself up to try to ask me something, and I'm playing dumb. Let me tell you, a lot of people, when they have confessed that they had feelings for me, a lot of times I had no clue, and they'd be like, yeah, you flirt with me too. You flirt back. I know, that's what I'm telling you. I'm like, no, I'm not flirting. I'm just friendly. A lot of times they mistake friendliness and politeness from flirting with them. I don't know, but they're delusional. So if you're a man out there and you're one of these, hold on, my heat is so high, it's drying out my throat. Anyway, sorry guys. So I was saying, if you're a man out there and you are doing anything like this, if you have a son out there, you have a husband out there, just really, really talk to them and say, this behavior is inappropriate. You should be raising your child. When you see a woman in the street, you do not say, yo, mom, or mommy, or whatever the case may be. If you see a beautiful woman, you approach her with respect. Excuse me, ma'am, can I talk to you for a second? If she says no, that's her prerogative. You're not entitled for a response. Even if you give someone a compliment, they're not entitled. Yes, it might be rude to you, but she's not entitled to say thank you and have a conversation with you. So we really need to be raising our men to respect women. And we're not second.
How pretty they are. If they're ugly to you, still show them respect, because you know what? They're a human being, and beauty is on perspective. So I just want to say that, because if they are so twisted in the head that they're like, oh, if I saw somebody else do it, that means I could. You have to specify. It doesn't. If it's a beautiful, it doesn't matter if they're beautiful or not. Just a woman, a person, period, demands and
treat them like they're equal. Respect. And I would say for men, treat a woman at the workplace the way in which you would treat another man. You would never up and down, if you're a heterosexual male, right? You would never up and down look at another man, right? Mm-hmm. Certain questions and certain conversations you try to have with your female coworkers, you would never try to do that to your male coworkers. So I would say really, truly make a conscious effort to treat your female coworkers like you do your male coworkers, because then you're treating them equally.
And don't be fucking stupid talking about, oh, then I'm gonna hit him in the shoulder because, you know, that's how I mess with my dudes. Really? Like, don't even go that way. Just respect. Don't touch him unless it's invited. Like, just be normal.
It's disgusting. So anyway, moving on from, how did we even get there anyway? But moving on for that part, what do you say about workwear?
Workwear? I think it depends what kind of, first off, the industry, then the kind of environment, because it does change. So
yeah, like you're probably not going to want to see a lawyer wearing pants that are sagging off his butt. But at the same time, even if she was wearing pants like that, it still doesn't change your skill. The only thing that changes is everyone's perception of them. Mm-hmm. I think a person wearing these certain type of clothes is not capable of doing a certain job properly.
However, sometimes it is uncomfortable because I do not want to see your underwear. Like, put it on.
I don't. Like, I completely agree with you. That was like an extreme example.
Yeah, like if we walking around in the neighborhood and you happen to have, I'm gonna be tight because I just saw basically your ass, but it's whatever, you know.
But clothes matter, but it shouldn't matter. We should get to a society where it does not matter.
Right.
You know?
Obviously, your clothes need to fit your work environment. You're not showing up in no construction site with heels or flats. You showing up with Timbs with Steel Toe, you know? Like,
also,
I meant to say steel toe. Wow.
I wanted to intern at this place. Mm-hmm. I was in this program that was getting internships, and when you went to the career fair, it was mandatory that women wore heels 2 inches and above. You could not wear flats.
Out of my face.
And I felt like that was the utmost disrespect.
Yep.
To women, because you're saying, while men get the work, because, you know, at a career fair, it's all about the hustle. You got to get to the right lines for the big companies and stuff. So while men get to be comfortable and walk around and just take their time, we have to be uncomfortable. Career fairs are like 4 hours. I don't care if it's only 2 inches. Your feet are going to hurt. You're standing in long lines. It's not like you're sitting down at any time. You should not be obligated to wear heels. It should be something, if you feel like wearing heels, wear heels. But what does wearing a heel have to do with professionalism? A flat shoe works just the same.
Can I tell you something? So, you know how these men in a professional setting be walking around in suits, 3-piece suits, you know, the shirt, the blazer, the whole vest, the pants? Mm-hmm. They gonna be hot, which means they're gonna blast the AC, right? Meanwhile, the ladies gotta wear dresses, right? Gotta wear whatever.
That's the other thing. A lot of jobs require a woman to only wear dresses, and I'm not with that shit at all. I will wear my pants, and I dare you to tell me something. I would say, oh, it's against whatever, real quick.
So meanwhile, these dudes is chilling with their little coat on and off. We are freezing. You know, that's a whole thing.
No, for real. It's that whole thing that women are entitled to wear dresses. And what I always tell people when they use, I had this church that I used to go to that felt like if a woman wore pants, it was against the Bible or something like that. I'm like, first of all, clothes are a man-made thing. Pants did not always exist in the first place, right? So,
because first we had skirts and everybody wore them.
It didn't always exist, right? So when people say like men can't wear skirts and stuff, no, this is something that society created, and society told us we can wear this and we can't wear that. It has nothing to do with the Bible and God and whatever. If that was the case, then we would be born out of the vagina with pants or a skirt or whatever, but we don't. So you cannot tell me that this is more godly and this is not more godly.
We had fur at one point.
And that pastor, I wore pants. That pastor had gotten on the pulpit with the mic and was like, oh, when you come to church, you have to make sure you dress right. You have to make sure that, you know, woman, you wear a skirt, pants is inappropriate. I'm in the front of the row. And I'm just like, this mofo is going to make me have to talk to Jesus real quick. But yeah, it's a lot of things women have to put up with that we shouldn't have to put up with, as well as just like calling shots, not being taken as seriously, having to say things multiple times. Like you could come up with an idea, no one takes you seriously. A man could say the same thing, and sometimes they take him more seriously. Like
even after you just said it. Like, bro.
I know.
And like, not that we can speak from men's experiences, but through the power of deduction. I mean, yes, it sucks men don't have as many style choices the way we do, as in we have skirts, blouses, shirts, tank tops, crop tops, this and that. Guys just have a t-shirt, a regular shirt, flannel. It's limited, but still, those are very comfortable things. This is just on the topic of clothes. And it's like you can switch it out. Like, I get that it's limited, but still, things are still in your favor because everything is accommodated.
Heels? I need somebody to explain that to me. Heels, when you wear heels anyway, it's usually considered more of a sexy thing from back like in the 50s and stuff, right? You wear heels, it's more sexy, it's more feminine, whatever. So making us wear that at a job, you're still objectifying us again.
Yo, that's a good ass point.
I have to calm down because I've been screaming at you guys, and I really don't need to scream at you guys, but I've been through it.
That's a good old point, Kenichi. And you know what gets me tight? The irony of it all? Only men wore heels back in like the colonial days, son, and it was to show power. What? When did we have to be sexualized with it?
Oh, girl.
And then we weren't given power. We weren't respected. Like, come on. So anyway, that's on clothes. What about hair?
I haven't really had anyone say anything to me. I wasn't always natural. I just went completely natural. But I will say, again, everything comes from my perspective of being Black in a white environment and not wanting them to place me into stereotypes and trying to show to them that we can be professional and whatever. So I tend to wear my hair like very straight. Well, it was straight anyway because it was relaxed, but like pulled back in a bun. If it was out, it was very simple. I didn't do anything extra. The last 9 to 5 that I had, there was someone there, and shout out to her. I'm obviously not going to say her name, but she used to come to work with colored weaves. And I remember seeing her and was just like, oh my gosh, like what the hell? How's she getting away with that? How does she feel comfortable? In my head, being trained in a bad way from society, I'm like, that's so unprofessional. Then we were having a deep conversation. It's just like, yeah, it's like my hair. Not that her hair wasn't cute. It was always well done, but it was just like really, really colorful and out there, you know? we were having a conversation. She's like, why do you think I wear my hair like this? Because wearing my hair has nothing to do with my job. A certain way has nothing to do with my capabilities of having a job. She said 5 years ago, she had a boss at that same job, and she used to come just plain black hair, really simple. And she went to him and she's like, I'm thinking of dyeing my hair blue. I think it was blue, her first color. And he said, yeah, why not? And she said, you know, from then on, nobody could tell me anything about my hair. Like, that's how I express myself in my personal life. And I shouldn't have to switch out my hair just to come to work. And if someone thinks less of me because of my hair color, that reflects more on them than it does me. And a company should want to support you in that choice. She was a manager and she hired another girl. The girl had a burgundy reddish hair, right? And I was having a conversation with her and she said, I really thought I wasn't going to get hired because I didn't have time to switch my red weave out. And I said, no, you found the right manager, because that's exactly her message. Your hair has nothing to do with your capabilities. So after that, you know, I was more free. I had another coworker. She had really pretty curly hair naturally, but she would always straighten it. And we were talking about how she's breaking off her hair by, you know, constantly straightening. And she's like, I just feel like I look too girly, little girly. I don't feel like it's professional to come in with curly hair. And I had to check myself, like, subconsciously, I've been doing the same thing. Why is curly hair not professional? And that's the hair that grows out of your head. And I would wear my use what you call these things, the rollers, the flexi rods, to make my hair curly, but it was still like relaxed curls. But I never had the opportunity to wear my hair like this. Well, why does this make me any less professional? I probably, if I'm honest, I probably wouldn't wear it in this style. I'd probably leave it open or pull it back or something, but it would still be this. Why is this less professional than straight hair?
Because of the Euro.
Thank you very much.
Standards.
It goes back to slavery and us putting European features on a higher standard than non-European features. Let's just say that. And we have to get out of that. We have to be the change that we want to see. So if I ever did 9 to 5 again, best believe it, I'm showing up to my interview in a little afro, and I dare them to tell me something. I might not get the job, or maybe, who knows, I might pull my hair back for the interview and do a bun, but once I get to the job, I'm letting it fly. Free the fro. Free the fro. And I want somebody to try me. HR real quick. And then that could be a lawsuit. Because what's wrong with the hair? Do you, the only other thing before I ask you what you could do, another friend, I could actually say her name, my friend Nicole. She had moved from Puerto Rico to the US. So she was trying to apply for a job here. And she was asking me how she should do her hair for the interview, because her hair was curly. I said, just pull it back in a bun is a fine. She's like, a bun is unprofessional. A bun. I said,
that's the go-to.
Thank you. But she didn't know. She thought you always have to wear your hair out. Because all she sees, like on TV or whatever, were the white woman, the blondes and the brunettes with just like their hair out or whatever, you know? So she never understood. And I'm like, don't you watch movies? Don't you see like the side part with the low bun is like the go-to professional hairstyle? But yeah, so she didn't even believe me. She had to call her parents, and we had to Google professional hairstyles before she believed me. So it's something that we have to think about. Again,
it's crazy. We got to Google this.
I know, we shouldn't. It's just, it has nothing to do with your skill.
Yeah. What was your question?
What was your experience with here in the workplace?
I particularly don't have any, but it goes back to the men asking me, why don't I let my hair out? Because this leaving my hair out is very new in my life. I've always had it either in a ponytail or in a bun, so you would see all of my face, and that's just because my hair has always been long, and I didn't know what the hell to do with it.
And it gets you hot and everything.
And it gets me hot, so it's like that's
he asked you, why don't you leave your hair out?
That I look better with my hair out.
Nobody. Wait. More info. You guys were having a conversation on here, or he just came out of nowhere?
He came out of nowhere. They always come out of nowhere. I don't talk to people unless I have to fucking do my job. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
So, I mean, that's...
And this me now would check him right away. Feel comfortable enough to check him right away, because that's inappropriate. Nobody cares what you think I will look better as. I'm coming to work with the way that I want to come to work, and you wanted to fetishize me or be in my hair or do whatever the hell. Nobody asked for your opinion. That's not the place. Not the workplace. Ask me about work. Ask me about an email. Ask me about something else. Physical features, that should not be a topic of conversation.
But other than that, that's all I've got. Usually the Euro standard does not have a problem with this. So I don't have so much experience.
Yeah. The only other thing I could say, how do you feel about being non-Black? Do you think that has affected you in the work environment or your interviews or anything like that?
Wait, ask me the question again.
When you go on your interviews, are you very aware that you're non-white? Have you had to work in an all-white environment where you felt like, okay,
I work in an all-white environment now. Like,
but I'm asking you, how does that impact you? Do you feel any type of way? Like, you
I do, because obviously I fit in, right? But I'm not. I do not relate to white people. So
you might fit in physically to them, where you don't stand out as much.
Because I still don't, because my body type, if y'all saw my body, it's like, She's I'm not,
honey.
Yeah, I just a whole lot of hip, a whole lot of booty, a small waist, like, I know, but I hide it because the attention on the street is not something I want. So anyway, but I can't hide it either way. So they come up and ask me sometimes, oh, you're like exotic. Where are you from? Italy? And I'm like, dead ass. Anyway, I feel a type of way because, again, I'm a Caribbean Hispanic. And I grew up in America, mostly living, like, being friends with other Caribbeans or Black people, So I do not
relate to the white culture. And for people who are going to say there is such a thing as white culture, check yourself.
Yes. The only thing that
Oh, sorry.
Are you okay?
Hiccups and burps are attacking my body right now. So, yeah, go ahead.
So the only thing that I can relate to, and not even so far because I don't know their musical stylings like that, is their movies, because come on, white people dominate this bitch, So that's the only thing. And I genuinely like filmmaking. I genuinely like the movies coming out. I think some of it is good. Of course, I had to go through my own, like, deconstruction of this whole thing that is basically a white man crying all the fucking time, but it's weird, and it's not good for my mental health sometimes, because it's like I get not lost in the sauce, but I feel invisible but a part of the team, because I know I'm not this, and it's like I don't know how to explain this feeling.
No, I get it. For me, it's just the opposite. From the time you see me, you know I am Black. And it's one thing to be non-white. It's another thing to be a dark-skinned Black person, because let's keep it real, there is still a preference. There is still colorism where a lighter person might be perceived to be better in some environments. So I'm always walking in with this thing. And like I told you guys, it's not just, I didn't just wake up one day and feel like I had to prove myself, right? I've been asked certain questions that made me aware that they're thinking these stereotypical thoughts. So from the time it happened a few times, I'm just like, okay, I got to go in there. I got to prove to them that I really know how to speak. Like, code switch, be a completely different person. And that is not fair. I should be, even just the fact that I change my accent when I'm speaking, because I'm speaking a different dialect of English, some people might not have hired me because they want to, how do I say this? you have people who, for example, in New York, where people are speaking Spanish. Remember that lawyer was telling the guy, oh, you're in America, speak English, right? Even when they speak English, but they have an accent, they might still make fun of them or think less of them, like, oh, they might not be as educated. It's a lot of stereotypes that goes with these things. That's why I felt like I had to adapt and be able to switch so much. So my life has just been about switching, and that's not fair, because even having a Trini accent and wanting to work in America, it doesn't mean anything less. And certain accents are more acceptable than other accents, I feel like, in corporate America, you know? So from
like
what
accent.
a British accent, a European accent in general, if you have a thick French accent, it's like, oh,
yeah, Australian.
Whoa. You know, even like an Indian accent, because people tend to think a lot of Indians are just smart, right? Mm-hmm. But when you have a Caribbean accent per se, sometimes it's looked down upon. Like you're less than, you must not be as educated. So I was telling the story of this one guy, majority white workplace. It had another black guy. And I'm sitting down, minding my business, Natalie. And this person's like, oh yeah, you know, I went through your Facebook the other day, and it seems like you came from a good environment. I wouldn't have thought that. I'm like, looked at the other black guy like, did I just hear what I thought I heard? Because I just thought he said that he thought that I didn't come from a good environment. He knew nothing of me, but just assumed. And this is just based on my freaking look.
Right. Like, you can have whatever stereotype you got in your head, but what the hell makes you think it's okay to speak on that?
And that's what because one of my family, very close family members, I would tell her, this is how I feel. And she would always say, that's in your head. That's in your head. People aren't thinking like this. But it's these incidents that make me think like, listen, it's not just in my freaking head. These are things that people think. And that's why I constantly feel like if I have to prove them wrong, like Black people can't speak proper English, if there's such a thing. We can carry ourselves properly. We can write perfectly grammatical emails, right? In a professional way. Like, I'm always having to go the extra mile. And when I talk to my husband, who is white, he does not have any of these pressures. Not only is he white, but he's male. So he really has no worry whatsoever in the workplace. Show up and be himself. And that's it. Even if he does something that would be considered ghetto, they're never going to fucking call him ghetto, right?
Never.
If I do the same thing that's considered ghetto, oh, that ghetto bitch, she must be from the hood, whatever. Just because of race. So, yeah, that has been stressful. Huh?
No, I was yawning. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, that has been very stressful. And I think taxing. And has
exhausting. You have to code switch.
It's given me a lot of anxiety in the workplace where I don't know. I just felt like I couldn't be myself. And that's not a good thing. So when I have my own business and I have my employees and stuff, I want, of course, a professional environment, but I want to create an environment where people feel like they can be themselves.
As long as you're not disrespectful, you ain't messing with my profit margins, and you're not touching nobody else's body, we all right. Like,
exactly.
You know what? So, this is no particular priority. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I don't feel like it's okay for anybody to have that pressure. Also, people feel like they're doing you a favor when they give you a job. Like, you're coming out the hood. And what I always tell people, like, for a lot of people think like, for everyone that came to America, it's about a better life. That's not everybody's story, and you don't know my story. I've lived in freaking suburbia, and I've lived in the freaking hood, okay? So I know different. You can't just look at me and think Black, oh, she's from the hood. That's her background. Because that's not my full background, honey. So, yeah, I still can't believe he just really looked at me. Well, it seems like he came from a nice family. It seems like he came from an all right background. Why did you even go on my Facebook looking for that? Why does it matter? If I did come from the hood, which, like I said, I have lived in the hood for numerous years of my life, why does that change? my capability at my job. Why did that matter? I don't understand why he felt the need to go and try to find that out. And to admit it to me, like you went through my Facebook to try and find out my background. And that's what I mean. Like I don't tell anybody anything, and I don't add anybody on social media because people are too damn fast. That's what Trini people say, they're fast. They just want to be in your business. I don't want people in the business.
Yo, we can't just make money. We gotta pay another price to make this money.
Even that, just being a woman in a workplace, you're gonna, I think it's 75 cents to the dollar.
It depends what race you are.
We could go on and on about this topic, but we just wanted to loosely delve into this and just really, really, I don't even have any advice because I haven't figured it out. I was in an environment where I felt so, the last 9 to 5 that I had, I hated my job. Every day was a nightmare at that job. And I'm sorry to say it, it's not the people. The people were actually nice, but the position for me, I don't want to say too much on that because, that could come back and bite me in the ass, but I just really did not like the position. And somehow some people treated me. There's been times where people of a certain level, they felt like they didn't have to say good morning. They didn't have to acknowledge your presence. And I am not, what's the word? Based on levels? Hierarchy is? So whatever it's called.
No, hierarchy. You're right.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people. You could be the janitor. I'm friendly to, you know how many of the janitors I was friends with? It takes everybody to cooperate together to make a business, and you don't know anyone's life, why they're doing what they're doing. So you can't look down on somebody. You could be a CEO today and you lose everything and end up having to clean bathrooms. That's why you cannot treat people that you deem lower than you in a negative way.
I just realized something.
What?
So the reason why I like working in film and theater is because the hierarchy is so very clear cut. You know exactly where you stand. You know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly whose job is what. If there's a problem, you know like not even just you, the whole system knows where that problem should be going to, And the thing is, because it's still a casual for the most part, and obviously this is not talking about studios because I don't have experience there, but for the most part, people have respect for each other. Yeah. For the most part. That isn't to say divas and egos don't get in the way or exist, but there's etiquette is definitely one thing that keeps you getting hired because you know how to act. Yeah. From my own experience outside that industry and from hearing your experiences, along with some of the people's other friends that I've heard their experience from, it sounds like there is not a universal professional professional etiquette when I feel like we've been told for a long time that you have to be this, and this. Mm-hmm. So it's like, where the hell is it?
Girl, I don't know, but I just do want to put a disclaimer out there that I do understand this. My experience is not every Black woman's experience. It's not every dark-skinned Black woman's experience. Mm-hmm. Because like I said, a family member said that wasn't her experience. But I will say, to me, looking at the job she's had, it hasn't necessarily been in majority white environments. So it could be being around more non-Blacks was more positive than
you're the only one. Which is a whole topic on its own.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I know go ahead.
No. There's definitely issues here. Yeah. And there is no uniformity in here in this specific type of area. Mm-hmm. So,
I just feel like for the last 2 podcast episodes, I was like screaming and shouting and angry. I promise you guys I'm not, but I'm just very passionate, and I've really been through this topic and the past topic that we just did.
But I'm gonna let you do it because I know I'm gonna get there, and that's the whole point why I want to do this podcast, Kenichi, is because like there's plenty of people talking about it, but I mean, some of us need to see someone else release that anger so they can release it too. Yeah. So I'm okay with you.
How can we change it? Yeah. How can we? I don't know. We don't even have the power, really, right? But you can't have a defeatist attitude at the same time. What'd you say?
That's the shit.
Yeah. It has to come from the top. It has to come from the top.
Like, the same, or the entire system coming for the top.
That's true.
That's another concept.
But then we all don't stick together because it's like crabs in a barrel sometimes. The crabs in a barrel mentality.
Keep us freaking separated. And that goes for a whole bunch of other systems like, you know, racism, but that's another thing. Anyway, just the same way women cannot change the issue that is men. The men who see the men being dicks and raping and doing all of this need to be the ones to be like, yo, you messed up, you gotta go.
It's just a lot. The only other thing I want to talk about is work environment gossip. When I come to work, I'm not there to listen to your story. I don't care what's really going on in your personal life. I'll listen to it because I'm not rude, right? But I really don't care. It makes me feel uncomfortable to hear other coworkers talk about our boss or other coworkers. You know why? Because if you're talking about them to me, what are you saying about me?
For me, it's like, I want to keep my job. Wait a minute.
Not only that, there are people who will go back to the person that they were talking about and say, you said this. So I just always like, or whatever. I don't really say much. And there was this one person that I was kind of getting close to, but it just made me look at this person like side-eyed. Because she would always talk about our boss, but then was like this with our boss.
Two-faced snake. Shed that skin.
I had a relationship with them like outside of work, but would always talk shit. And I just be like, there's something that I just could not quite let my guard down, because to me, it's just like, well, what are you saying about me?
Yeah. Are you just getting close to me so you can figure out more things to say about me to other people? Like,
I don't know, but you know, I really did not stay there too long. For me, guys, if I don't like a job, I'm out. After being sick and feeling like if I was on my deathbed a few times, probably 3 times in my life. Well, 2 times from being ill and 1 time from just having like a mental fucking breakdown, where I felt like I was not going to make it out on the other side. I am not wasting no time. If I'm not happy, I'm not enjoying something, life is too short to stay in something where you feel stuck and you wake up and it's stressing you out. There's so many other jobs out there. I'm gone. I don't care. I'm out. Peace. Deuces. You know? So that's what it's been. The main story that I forgot to tell you, there was this internship that I was doing at this marketing company. They did marketing and PR for movie stars, but they usually did people behind the scenes, because people behind the scenes don't really get as much recognition. So they spotlighted like directors, producers, those kinds of people, right? So anyway, I'm in an internship. This is an unpaid internship, mind you, unpaid. So I'm doing that internship. And I'm traveling from New Jersey to this internship to do this.
I bet it was in Midtown.
Yeah, it was in Wall Street. So it's costing me a nice penny to go there all the time, right? So I walk in and it's me and this other girl that was going to St. John's, I believe. So she's coming from far too, but she's driving and paying for parking. Wall Street. So when we go there, they don't have their shit together. They have no idea what they want us to do. For that day, they're asking us, well, what do you want to do? What do you want? It's just like, we're learning about this. Like, how do you expect us to know what we want to do? Like, what do you guys even do? So they had never given me a key to come into the building. I always had to say, talk to the front desk person to even let me in, right? I knew the security. I got cool with the security guard, so the security guard would always let me in. And once I got upstairs to the building, the front desk lady would always let me in. So anyway, I was just very uncomfortable. The vibes was weird. It was a very small office, probably like 4 people. 2 white guys, Asian girl. Yeah, and the other intern, she was white as well, right? So anyway, I went to see my husband in Iowa one of the times, and I missed my flight, so I couldn't get to my flight. Now, homegirl that was from Queens quit the internship because she had already been telling me like, oh, they don't know what the hell, I'm wasting my time, I'm not paying for parking for them to be disorganized, right? But I was excited, genuinely excited, because their website on point. I researched them. They do like a really good job at promoting these people and things, but maybe sometimes you just don't have time to figure out what you want your interns to do. So I felt like if I could work with them, have them on my resume, and I could really truly learn, just get a lot from it. So I was willing to put up with it. I had nothing better to do at the time. So of course, whatever. Remember, this is unpaid. So I missed my flight. I called from his phone and I'm just like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to make it into work. I missed my flight. Now I have to, instead of flying directly from Iowa to New York, I have to drive to Chicago and fly from Chicago to New York. So he's like, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You come in. So, I go back to work and he's like, so where were you now? It's like Iowa. He's like, who goes to Iowa? So I said, me, I know it's like nowhere or whatever, but my boyfriend is there. He was like, you have a boyfriend? But it's the way he said it. I was like, yeah. And he was like, your boyfriend lives in Iowa? I'm like, yeah. So how did y'all meet? It's like mad questions already, like if I'm lying, right? Mm-hmm. So I start to feel some type of way. Like, obviously he's thinking, okay, first of all, no one from New York really goes to Iowa. Not only that, the way he was asking, it was like, you're Black. What are you doing going to Iowa? Like, what do you have in Iowa? You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's the way that he was asking. So not too long after he asked me, he's like, hey, we're all going to lunch. Do you want to come? I said, no. I said, I prefer to have my lunch here. So he's like, excuse me? Like, he was so offended that I did not want to go to lunch. So that was the first thing. Then what ended up happening, like I said, I'm coming all the way from New Jersey, right? So I have to take a bus or Uber to the train station, then take the train station. So I was in an Uber and we got into the Uber got into a little accident. So I got freaked out and I'm just like, well, I'm not going to Wall Street today. Like, I just don't feel it. So I call him up and I'm just like, hey, the Uber got into a car accident. I really can't come in. And this is far apart, right? And the CEO of the company calls me and says, listen, you're about to lose your internship. No. The guy that was like above me called me and says, hey, you're about to lose your internship. The CEO wants to speak to you. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
the CEO doesn't have time for the interns.
But you remember, it's a small company.
Oh, so okay, I guess so. Okay.
Yeah. So I called the CEO and I said, like, what's up? What happened? I can't believe I'm about to be fired from an unpaid fucking, like, you ever heard of some shit like that? You about to be fired from an unpaid internship? So he's like, well, I don't want to say his name. Guy A, who I was dealing with, like, who's ahead of me, who I report to, is like, you've just been having so many excuses as to why you can't come. 2 excuses now. First, it was that you went to Iowa. Second was that the car accident. We just feel like these things aren't believable. I said, what? I said, no, I called, because the guy mentioned, he was like, I did see on the caller ID, you called from an Iowa number. When we were first talking, I was like, yeah. So how the fuck am I going to get a number from Iowa to say that I called from Iowa? So he was like, yeah, these excuses just don't seem believable. We just don't think that you went to Iowa. Natalie, my blood was boiling. He said, but you know what? We're willing to forgive you and we're willing to have you come back as long as you promise not to lie anymore. I'm like, but I really was not lying. I really got into the car accident and I really went to Iowa. I could show you my ticket stub and everything like that. He was like, no, that's not necessary. We're willing to look past it as long as you apologize.
What? I'm leaving. Listen, I quit. Good night.
My blood, I was like, I need time to think about it. And I really had to digest what had just happened. digested and really processed what was just told to me. Not only were you telling me that, what are you doing in Iowa? From the first time when I told you I missed my flight in Iowa, and you're acting so hard and so tough for a fucking unpaid internship. I'm losing out more money than I am gaining, because at that point they still didn't know what the hell they were doing. So I would come and we would have to figure out what to do for the freaking day. Okay, the white intern, she had keys to the building to get in. I did not have a key, so I have to ask. So then I'm looking at you sideways like, okay, you give her a key, but you don't give me a key. You get what? It's all these
I do
little aggression things that it's telling me like how you really feel about me.
Right.
So anyway, after that, I talked to my sister and she was like, oh, hell no, you better quit. I was like, that's what I was feeling, but I had to just make sure that I'm not in my feelings. Natalie, I wrote up a long email. I sent them pictures of me and Sean in Iowa where they could see the, you know when you do Snapchat and stuff, it has all the stuff. I sent that. I said everything to prove my ticket stubs, everything like that. I said, you guys just lost out on the fucking best, most loyal intern you probably would have had, because ain't nobody. You know how many people they had quit?
Yeah, that one girl just left.
Thank you very much. And I was here trying to stick it out, and you're gonna say I'm lying. So then the boss calls me back, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. It's just the person, guy A. He's just very skeptical of people, and he didn't mean anything by it." I was like, "No, fuck that. I'm not coming back." So he replies to that long email. Didn't address anything that I had to say about them, call me a liar when I wasn't a liar. Nothing. No sorry. Nothing like that. Right. So then he's just like, oh, please send back your key.
I never got a key.
That's what the fuck I said. I said, I never got a key. It was, I don't even remember homegirl's name. It was so-and-so that had a key. I always had to ask the front desk. And he replies, ... I'm like, this motherfucker is trying my life. So I said, I believe that they probably would have changed whatever, deactivate whatever cards. You know how you could scan whatever. I was like, They really think I'm about to come up in their office and do anything? They don't have nothing for me to steal.
Even if you were like that.
Microaggressions. Like, why was it so unbelievable for me to have gone to Iowa? Secondly, why was it so unbelievable that I had a boyfriend from Iowa? Like, oh, these just seem like unbelievable lies. Like, it's just pretty extravagant. Then you got
what basis are they unbelievable?
Because I'm Black, Natalie. And what does a Black person have business? What business does a Black person have in Iowa? Yes, it was strange that Iowa is in the middle of nowhere. It's in middle America or whatever. So yeah, but that's exactly why it should have been a believable lie, because who's gonna use Iowa as a lie?
Yeah.
I could have said my grandma died, my mama was sick. Yeah, so my experiences have not been good. So I'm just always looking at people with a side eye. Always looking at people with a side eye, like, what this one gonna come with? What this one? And and my husband has been trying to get me out of that. Like, not everybody's like that. He's just like, you've been in a lot of negative work environments, and I just want you to have a positive experience and a positive outlook. And I'm like, listen, your experience have been all positive because you're different than I am, honey. Like, But that is my hope, that if I ever do decide to go back in like corporate America, they don't try my life like they try it, But my goal, I want my own business. I want to create my own atmosphere, my own environment, and just do certain things. And I've also had people in the workplace lie. Like, I asked this company, do you do any charity work? Are you guys active in the community? Are you guys whatever? Yeah. In the interview, when I get there, no, they don't do anything. I'm asking, well, can I start it up? No. It's just, it's making me itch thinking about it. So, my break from corporate America has been good. It's been refreshing to not have to deal with all of that and constantly be somebody else. Well, not somebody else, just only show a certain side of me, a way toned down side of me. So, I don't know.
I am exhausted for you.
Yeah, girl. But that was the worst experience. Like, it's the way he said it. I'm just thinking about it now. Like, I was like in the back of him, and he turned around like, Who goes to Iowa?
It's funny. That was funny.
Yeah, my man. I go to Iowa to see my man. Oh, you have a boyfriend?
Yeah.
Okay. So not only are you, don't you believe that I went to Iowa, but are you saying that I'm too ugly? Like, what are you saying? Like, I don't get it.
Well, that's the work experience, apparently.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I do think it's a shame that experiences this extreme exist. Yeah. So I think that's all we got for the work environment.
Yep, guys, just know that today's Kenichi will definitely be reporting people to HR. I'm not playing with anybody's boy child. I'm not playing with any man child at all. I will be reporting people to HR, and HR tries my life, I'm definitely going to be threatening lawsuits. So if you ever come across me and I happen to go back in corporate America or any environment where a man feels like they're going to take advantage or be inappropriate with me, just be very careful around me, because I'm willing to go all the way. I'm not going to be scared. Not in this atmosphere that we have the Me Too and stuff.
Yeah, good. Good, please.
You look like shocked, like what?
Like, not shocked. I'm just, wow.
Yeah.
You know, I had a guy ask me at work one time if I could make a clap.
People are getting too comfortable. It's work. That's not an appropriate question to ask. When you're hanging out in a bar or hanging out with your friends and, you know, they want to ask you that, they're fine. But at work, that's inappropriate.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to picture my cheeks clapping right now?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I mean, I stayed quiet because honestly, I was at the time where I was just exploring my body. So I was still very timid, period, about everything. So I'm like, no. And I just kept fucking folding panties because I was at Victoria's Secret at the time.
Wait, was it a coworker or just someone that walked in?
Coworker.
Though, really quick, I shouldn't specify retail because I've worked in other jobs, 9-to-5 jobs, and had this happen too. People coming into the job, men, and feeling like they can flirt with you. Excuse me, I am on my job.
We're held hostage.
I've been asked to be somebody's second wife twice. Well, second and third wife. 2 different guys. I've been asked to have an orgy with someone and their wife. I work.
And let's be clear, this is not a bar setting or anything. So they're sober.
No. Let me see. Okay, so that was all retail. I'm trying to see what happened in well, like I told you guys, I was asked to coffee and all of that stuff, right? With the wink and the whatever. I had someone who would just come into the job to act like he was well, if I say what it was, I would give away the industry that I was working at. But let's just say he was acting like if he had problems with whatever it is that we were servicing, but he really wasn't. He was just there to talk to me and bother me. And some people find that cute. I know some women out there were like, girl, yeah, he's just trying to show you. Like, no, I don't care.
Yeah, but that's still...
It's inappropriate. Just I don't know.
Like, be straight up. Hey, I'm interested in you. Would you want to, like, exchange phone numbers or something? I'm sorry I'm bothering you at work.
And if I say no, it's no, and keep it pushing. Don't ever do that shit again.
Right, let's stop the flirting because then we have to fucking entertain it, you know, because we're working.
Like, I don't entertain nothing though. I just play dumb. I just play dumb all the time. Like, what?
That's still not okay. I guess interact with it is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because you still have to deal with it. Asking the question straight out and not being so wussyfoot about it helps everybody out. First, you shoot your shot, and then we only have to deal with it once, and then we move on. You know?
I still just don't know if I want somebody to shoot their shot while I'm at work.
I know, but like, this is me.
It's not realistic because a lot of people only are at work, and that's how a lot of people meet on their jobs. But I just never been the type of person that I want to date somebody that I work with or go to school with. I did it once, and that I was really young, and that was it.
So in regards to working environments, it's just do your best. And since we are working in a world where it's been mostly one system, if you have a good idea for a better work environment, for a very good business in mind, I encourage you to go make that happen. You will make a lot of people's lives better if you make it encouraging, positive, loving, and welcoming.
And also, don't give up hope. If you think about how the work environment was in the 50s versus how it is now, we have definitely come a long way. We just have a long way to go still. So just don't give up hope.
All right. And that's it, because I'm done. I need to take a break from trying to go through this. Like, I'm sitting in this tunnel.
I see it on your face. I see it on your face. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening or watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can always catch our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play. So that way you can drive while listening to us or do anything else, okay? So again, thank you for watching. We hope to see you next time. Bye.